Hello, everyone. I'm Mark,
And I'm Rob.
and today we're going to cover Game 19th of Caitlin Clark's rookie year. Indiana Fever lost to the Seattle Storm, 89-77. And welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown, one of the hottest and best sports talk shows in the planet.
Right.
And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell when you do. All right, Rob, what do you think? What did you think of last night's game?
It went accordingly. I mean, the Storm they're very good at home, and they're a very good team. So it didn't really surprise me that Fever didn't win. I mean, even with Timmy back, it's still they're still overmatched. It's still a young team, still overmatched. Caitlin Clark
Overmatched.
they're overmatched just guard wise, and still the defense. Indiana's defense is not that great, but Caitlin Clark had a nice game, which is kind of good. And Wheeler actually had a nice game also.
So Clark ended up with 15 points, but only took 9 shots. She was shooting well. She took a few logo threes that hit too. She was 4 for 9 and 3 for 7 for threes, and 4 for 5 at the line with 6 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 block, and unfortunately 6 turnovers. Boston didn't shoot well. She missed a bunch of bunnies. She was 5 for 16, but she did play. She did, do solid defense and had 14 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. And she was up against good players. So that was actually, she played fairly well. Smith was 5 for 11, 12 points, but she had 4 garbage points at the end. And Wallace only played 18 minutes and didn't play very good defense and was 0 for 3. I'm totally flabbergasted that she's starting right now, and that even she gets much playing time. But so is everybody else. So I don't know what to say. Mitchell only took 10 shots,
Yeah.
but her defense wasn't any good, and she was a negative 23 plus minus. So that tells you something. It tells you. Mitchell had 0 assists, 0 steals, and 0 blocks, and just 3 rebounds.
Wow. Wait, no, she had 0 assists. I'm very surprised. Wow.
4 turnovers and 0. People complain about Clark's turnovers, but she had a negative 4 assist to turnover. And
Yeah.
for some reason, Samuelson gets in the game. Clark makes a nice length of the court pass. She puts the ball in the basket, and guess how did she get rewarded for running the court properly and taking advantage of Clark? She gets benched and plays 4 minutes the entire game. And this is
I saw that.
And this is without Dantes, the new forward they just activated, not even playing. So I mean, I'm flabbergasted. And of course, Feg Bentley came off the bench because of her injury. I'm sure she'll start eventually, hopefully on Sunday. And she played well, 4 for 5 from field goals. She had 7 rebounds in 19 minutes, and of course she had 2 assists, and she's not even a guard, and ended up with 8 points. And Wheeler did shoot well. She was 5 for 8, 3 for 4 from threes, and had 3 assists and 2 steals and 15 points. Hall only had 13 minutes of playing time and didn't score. But Rob, what did you want to say about Clark's game?
Well, with Caitlin Clark, she has to shoot. She has to shoot in double figures. She can't just shoot 9 times. She has to shoot at least over 11 times a game, because
11?
That's what she does. She can shoot. She has to shoot at least over. I mean, she should average. Well, the average should be 12 shots a game. That's her average. She should shoot a game. Because
I think she needs to take at least 15 shots.
Yeah,
I think that's way too little. And the problem is it was never going to happen in this game. Otherwise, she was going to end up forcing too many shots, because from the very beginning, the coach, who's a very good coach, and if you saw her at halftime, she has a great demeanor to her. And she after the last press conference, she said Clark is a beast, and she said that's why we give her a lot of attention, basically. So she's at least one coach willing to admit that Clark's a really good player. The other coaches don't say anything. She's a 2-time champion for Seattle. Her name's Noelle Quinn, and she has the greatest demeanor, very soft, but yet she still was able to drive her team to 2 championships. I mean, wouldn't she be a perfect coach for Caitlin Clark?
Yeah, I wish they could steal her from it. Her demeanor, the way she coaches, she keeps the team calm when she calls timeouts at the right time, and lets the players come in and out, and keeps the right players on the court at the right time. She I really like the way she coaches. She's a very good coach.
So anyway, her game plan's the same thing 3 games in a row, and that is to guard Clark 94 feet and then double team her all the time, anytime she goes off anywhere to the side. Now, this time, Clark has learned from game one of the season and game 1 against Seattle. She didn't get trapped once this game.
Yeah.
She got rid of it every time, and Boston was better coming off to the top of the key when she does get double teamed. But it was obvious her game plan was everyone else is going to have to beat us.
Mm-hmm.
And they did that. And the game really wasn't close. I mean, it really was. I never felt like they had any chance of winning in the game. And the defense by the guards were awful. Clark actually played the best defense of the guards, other than maybe Hall. And Wheeler wasn't good defensively, and neither was Mitchell, and neither was Wallace.
Right.
I mean, Jewel Lloyd was going into this game. Jewel Lloyd was shooting. By the way, she's on the Olympic team, and Clayton Clark's not. But she was shooting 22.9% from threes and 33.3% from overall. And she was averaging 18.4 points a game. Now, for career, she averages 40.4 from shooting percentage and 35.2. But she's having a bad year. But anyways, so she's not shooting well. And guess what she did she scored 34 points. And let's see, she had 10 for 15 and 6 for 9 from threes. And some of them, people weren't even close to her. 5 rebounds, too, and 2 assists. So why did she suddenly get...
That's what I'm saying about the defense.
Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
That's what I'm saying about the defense. That's what I'm saying about the defense. The guards, if you're not gonna stop the drive, you got to pick up on the player, and the person's gonna shoot 3-pointers. So get up on her. Don't. They're playing off of her, and then their foot movement is horrible. But then they have one of my coaches called the swinging gate defense, where the person drives, and it's like they just open the gate and it's going straight through. It's like the swinging gate just go right through the gate. So I mean, but the main thing is, and also again, I mean, I do blame the players, but it also comes to coaching. If you see a person hitting 3-pointers, you got to change your defense. Like I said, I did 1-3-1. That would just mess up the whole team because that's where they're shooting the threes. These teams are killing them with the threes. And that 1-3-1 defense extends out to where you have a person on the point and you have 2 other people on the wings there for the threes. So just do something. But the guards have to pick up. Why don't they pick up the guards of full court?
Well, I don't know, Rob. They're last in the league in defense, so it's obviously part coaching. And, of course, as we know, I mean, I had 3 takeaways from this game, Rob. Mm-hmm. One was, where's Celeste Taylor? And number 2 was, where's Celeste Taylor? And number 3 is see number 1. That was my takeaway.
You got one more. You got one more 4, all the above.
Yeah. When Lloyd exploded, I think she got 23 points in the first half. She had 23 points. She was 7 for 9 and 5 for 7 from threes. And I kept saying, where's Celeste Taylor? Oh, they waived her for a forward that's never played all year and another forward who's still partially injured who didn't play this game either. Neither one of them played. And, as we said, maybe she's not starter material, but as soon as some guard starts getting hot, stick her in. And if she'd started, if she got playing time since the beginning of the year, as we said before, maybe she would have proved that she was starter material by this time. It's halfway through the season. So we brought that up, and so is everybody else on the internet. Yeah. So this is not a hard thing to see.
Mark, like I said, Mark, my specialty was defense, and the coaches would put me in 6th man, 7th man, and I come in and I guard the best player. I mean, I could have scored. I was a good shooter, but my focus was defense and rebound, is to shut that person down from scoring, and that's what I would do. And I don't have to be it. I have other players who could do the offense, and if I was open, I'd shoot it, whatever. But I mean, my main focus was playing defense, and Taylor definitely would have made a big factor in that.
Well, obviously that's her main focus. That's how she became 2-time defensive player in the year in 2 different conferences in college. And yeah, so I don't know. We've covered this, but this was what they could have done, and it's hope maybe they'll get her back. Who knows? I don't know. But Clark's passing was phenomenal, except for a couple passes that she forced.
Yeah.
Length of the court pass to Samuelson was unbelievable. She did a behind the back pass to Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent, and it was the only pass that she could make at that point. And then she threw two to Smith. Both of them were unbelievable. One was she was underneath the basket from the right-hand side, and she threw it. And one was, and she actually scored on that one, I believe. And then she threw one across the court from the right side all the way to the left corner, and then she missed a three-point shot. But they were unbelievable passes.
Right.
These are like best passes you're ever going to see women make. And she
told
made
you, Mark.
4 of them in one game.
Yeah, I told you, Mark. Her court vision and court awareness is phenomenal. I mean, and like I said, that like I told you, like in one of the videos, that pass, when she got the rebound and passed it full court for on pinpoint and then layup. That's beautiful. That's great. That's why you want to watch.
And then she did force it once. I think it was behind the back to Fig Bentley. And she also forced another one. I forget what it was. It was clear force. But other than that, her passing was great. She tripped once. That was a turnover. There was a kick ball. Now, I'm not sure if it hit the defender's hand first, but there's a kick ball that wasn't called. And that one that was a turnover. That's the third time this year that a kick ball wasn't called that resulted in a turnover going to Clark because they missed a kick ball. They never miss that in the NBA. Never.
Right.
They call it when they're not supposed to, because unless you move your foot or leg, it's not supposed to be a kick ball. It's supposed to be where it was intentional.
Right, exactly.
It's unbelievable those refs can miss that, because even if it hit her hand and then hit her foot, I don't know if that's a kick ball or not, Rob. That rule kind of is fuzzy to me. But
I think you're right on point with that rule. No, I mean that's if you were refereeing, that would be your. I mean, mine was reaching, don't reach. Yours would be the kick ball. You definitely would be on that. So,
right, and then there was a play where Lloyd was wide open on a 3, and also when Wallace was covering her, and same thing when Mitchell was covering her. She was hot. So okay, you're hot. So what are you doing? You're right up in the person's face because you know they're hot.
Right.
Same 2 threes were like that where she was wide open. One on Wallace and one Mitchell. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
They didn't even wait. They didn't even like wave. It was just like, she's open. Okay. See, that's when as a coach, you like call a timeout, and then you get in their face and say, "Get your butt out there." She's the one who. The first question you ask is, "Who's scoring all the points right now?" Lloyd. So get your butt out there on her.
That wasn't hard to figure out, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what I would call my timeout. That's what I would say.
I remember the other 4. She forced one to Feg Bentley underneath the post in the second half on the right-hand side. The announcer said that about a fine line between trying to get it there. And Hall made a great pass. As she drove to the basket, she did a wraparound. She came around. That was a great pass. But, Wheeler's there just dribbling her head off, comes around off the screen, wide open, ready for the 3, her perfect type of shot that she likes to take and make. And Wheeler looks right after and says, and passes it to Mitchell, who gets double teamed immediately and eventually almost triple teamed.
Yeah. I did see
Someone
that.
else in a comment in another video said that Wheeler looked her off twice when she was open for 3. I just saw that one. So I don't know if that's true or not. But what I don't understand, Rob, is this is the 3rd time they played them, and they've had the same game plan every time. We're gonna double team Clark and cover her for 94 feet. Why can't this coach be prepared for that in this game and do things in order to counteract that? And what would you do, Rob?
Well, Mark, like you said, this is the 3rd time I'm playing this team. I know what they're going to do to me on defense. So you don't think you have tape or anything, and then you have enough time to practice this. So you know they're going to pick Clark up full court, and then they're going to double team her. So she kind of figured that out. But then that means somebody's open. So that means when the person who receives that ball and the other people have to cut to the basket because their person is not on the ball. That means somebody's open. So once you break that, it's like breaking a press. Somebody's open. So that means somebody should go in there and go to the basket. But I mean, her prep, that's what I'm saying. She doesn't want to change. She's very stubborn in her way. After 3 games you play somebody, you guys say, well, geez. But then change your defense too. Well, so I mean,
just to keep going into the post, when the other team has better defenders, they got, I can't pronounce Magaberger and I can't pronounce the other one. Oguwmi. Like I can't pronounce her name, but those are good defenders. That might work against weaker teams. It's not going to work against teams with good defenders underneath. The team is terrible at setting screens.
Yeah,
That's coaching, right? It's got to be coaching. You know what else I noticed about this team is, compared to other teams, is they never seem to have wide open threes, especially in the corner. Why are their players never seem to be able to get wide open in the corners and the threes, but other teams seem to be able to do that? They got a great passer in Clark, but yet they still can never get to that point where they have wide open threes in the corners. I can't figure it out. I don't know what they're doing wrong. All I know is it doesn't happen.
Because they don't. I mean, what they should do if Clark's on the right hand side, they should have a person bossing the screen away or have screen away. Somebody comes out to the corner. So now you have a triangle. So you got a person in the corner, you got a post person, and you got Clark. So right there is going to be that triangle is hard for the defense to guard. So there it is right there. So if they come out in the corner, you go inside. If they cover out in the wing, out in the corner, then and in the post, then Clark should shoot the ball. Or if they're not guarding the post, go inside. And so, like I said, there's three options right there out of the triangle.
All right. Well, she doesn't do any of them.
Yeah.
Rob, by the way, before I forget, the game was a sellout. So, and just so you know, and the other thing was that their substitution was very weird. Now, everyone knows that Temmie and Clark have a great connection. They were looking forward to playing with each other again. And so what does she do when she brings in Temmie? She takes Clark out. The only 2 minutes she takes her out is when Temmie comes in. I mean, she played 38 minutes, but it was only for 2 minutes. But still, I just thought, okay, well, this is just silly. You would take out another guard instead of her, and she left. Someone else had been in the whole quarter.
This is the perfect opportunity for her to use Temmie's skill, her and Clark's skill. What I am watching, I mean, what surprised me about Clark, maybe I should be watching her more closely during her college years, is that she's a good rebounder. She's been rebounding, and that's great.
She led defensive rebounding in the Big Ten either 2 or 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's an excellent rebounder. That's when people say she's a one-trick pony, I just laugh. I go, well, okay. She scores. She's a 3-point shot. She led the country in assists 3 years in a row, and she's a great rebounder for a guard. Mm-hmm. And she's also excellent. She's a very good defensive player off the ball, which people don't give her credit for because her on-the-ball defense is subpar, which I admit. And again, Rob, you need to call her up or email her and get her to bend her knees. Her stance is still wrong. So you pointed that out, and she's still not doing it.
See, Mark, I'm gonna put you. If I coach, I'm gonna put you as my assistant. You're starting to be a little coach there. You're noticing things like that. Huh? You're getting pretty good at that. I don't know as much
as you, Rob, but I can pick up on things that are pretty simple and they're obvious after a point.
You're getting pretty good there, Mark. I don't know.
Rob, I don't know what the problem is, but Clark's defender didn't cover. She was basically covering Skylar Diggins-Smith, and she only scored 8 points. So Clark's defense wasn't too bad. I'm not saying it was her on-ball defense is great yet, but it's improving slowly. She still has work to do. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to give too much of a compliment on our on-ball defense, but and she got a block. That's pretty good. So I don't know what to say, Rob. It's amazing to me that this coach can't figure anything out about how to have an offense conducive to Clark's skills and how to have an offense be flexible with the offense based upon what team they play.
Right.
Or even at halftime make adjustments. I can't imagine she makes any adjustment that makes any sense.
No, she makes no adjustment. That's the problem, Mark. She makes no adjustments. And then the adjustments she does are horrible. It's like, what are you doing? I mean, like I said, you don't have to be just observing the game, and then people go, what are you doing? What is that?
I mean, if eventually coaches can become better at that, and maybe she just isn't yet, but she's had a year and a half, so we're coming on the 20th game, which is going to be halfway mark for the season.
Tick, 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 tick.
So I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this game, Rob, except for that she's obviously holding Clark back, and it's because she can't adjust her game plan, and she just doesn't want Clark to shoot. That's just the impression I get. She doesn't do any ball screens for her barely ever.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Her offense is not designed for. She still doesn't know how to. After all these games, 19 games, plus preseason and practice, she still doesn't know how to utilize Clark's ability and movement on the offense. She has no clue with that. I mean, a double screen. I mean, a double screen off the baseline. Come on. There's a lot of play. I mean, I'm not even like this. I'm not an offensive genius, but I mean, I know how to do plays, and
she does the same play over and over again, whether it's working or not.
Yeah.
There was a play. Number 23, I forget her name. She got the cramps and could barely walk. I couldn't believe nobody carried her off the court. It was unbelievable. She gets she almost dies when she gets to her seat. Nobody pulled her off the court. They have trainers. I just couldn't.
She's tough. She's tough. Yeah, it's okay. She's tough.
That's unbelievable. The whole thing was. I'm watching the game and I'm just like, all right, can we please get Noah Quinn to be her coach? Please trade her to Seattle or something. That coach would be so great for Clark. It's like a nightmare. It's poor Caitlin Clark. I feel like Wizard of Oz, where she gets hit in the head, and this whole nightmare's going on, and nobody's woken her up yet and told her to, click her heels 3 times, from the good fairy. That's what I feel like's happening.
Where are the Munchkins to guide her down the Yellow Brick Road? That's what she needs.
They got them. They're just singing songs for him. I don't know.
But
poor Clayton Clark. I just I don't know what to say. Rob, all I have to say is if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe.
Yes, yeah.
The notification bell. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. This is a nightmare. If you like this video, hit the like button. And our live show is Eastern Time, 7 to 8 on Mondays. And feel free to make intelligent, non-insulting comments. I'm sure you have a lot to say about this game, everybody. So let's hear it down below. Maybe you're just tired of being frustrated and don't want to say anything.
Right. You're like us.
Or maybe you're just tired of saying the same things over and over again like we have to because this coach is clueless.
Right.
I don't like saying the same things over and over again. I like saying fresh stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's Taylor? I don't know. How many times do I have to say that?
All the above.
All right, everybody.
All right,
Until
take
the next
care.
video.
Peace out.